The cows come first. It's a special bale for special cows. Oh, you are joking. I kinda might have broke it. Hey up you lot, I hope you've all had a brilliant Christmas. We're in that kind of weird Crimbo Limbo period now where no one knows what day it is, everyone's had enough to eat, no one knows what grandma's supposed to be seeing next. It's just like a bit weird, but for us farmers, we still have the day job to do. We've still got to get on and get all of our jobs done, get the cattle fed, and there's other things that need to be done as well. Throughout this year, I wanted to start and do a bit of a day in the life series because our day changes quite a lot throughout the year depending on what time of year it is, whether we're calving, harvesting, grazing cattle, whatever. And I thought, what better time to start it than right now? Because people always wonder, what do we do between Christmas and New Year? And now I'm going to show you. I've already been and walked the dogs, and now I have to take the forklift with the bucket on, full of corn, down to the bottom of the yard where Dad is already bedding up the cows. And then we kind of have a bit of a switch round. I start and feed the cows with the silage, and Dad goes and does all the eggs and stuff like that. So I'm gonna head down there now, jump on this, and we'll go and get started. First thing we do when we get down here is I've got to put some silage bales out for when I need to feed. Dad's been using the straw, which I'll put out as well, loads that with the tractor. And we do this because the most important thing that we do every day is make sure that the cattle are all fed before we are. So we've not had our breakfast yet. The cows come first. They always come first. And the thing is, we like to make sure that we get out here early, get everything fed, because if we find a problem like a leaky water trough or a poorly animal, we can make sure they get fed and we can ring the vet and get it sorted as soon as possible, or fix the trough or whatever it might be. But if we go and have our breakfast and we're not here for another hour, it might be another hour that animal suffers, or more water that gets leaked, or longer that problem continues for. So making sure that we get here first early and getting them all fed and watered and make sure everything's okay is the most important thing that we ever do. I've got those silage bales out, and Dad's just put the last 2 straw bales in the shredder. I've got to put some more straw bales out ready for tomorrow. Now I put the straw out, before I can feed these bales I've got to strip the silage wrap off of them. But it's been below 0 last night and it is cold, so my fingers are going to know to it. But you can't really do it with gloves on because you just can't grip the stuff. So this is going to be fun. Oh, what do you think to my new LED light as well for my head? My wife bought me a running one because I do a lot of running, and that was really good, but I didn't want to wear that on the farm because it's very expensive and it's just really awesome. And I said to her, I could really just do with one for the farm as well. And then my sister and her significant other bought me this one. So it's ideal because I've got 2 headlamps for Christmas. One for farm, one for running. Happy days. There we go, all the net wrap taken off. If you're wondering why they kind of look different and why this bale on this end is lighter than the other ones, this bale on this end is just a grass silage bale. The rest of them are herbal lay bales, which are higher in protein, which we get to feed to the young stock like these guys here. And this one here is put aside because this one is a first cut grass sized bale that we're going to feed to the cows that have suffered a bit more with the drought, because one group of cows are really good, they don't need to change body condition, so we're just keeping them on a basic ration. This is really good stuff, and this is going for the cows that are just a bit thinner, try and put a bit of weight on them before they start to calve, which is in 3 months or so. That's what this one's for. It's a special bale for special cows. I also think there's a bit of an unwritten rule that you have to circumnavigate a bale at least once before you find the end of the net wrap. But look at this, just as if by magic, that's just finished bedding, which is ideal because now I can start and feed the cows too. Turns out he's not finished bedding. There's more in there than he thought, so he's gonna go and spread that first. Never mind. Probably important to point out that not every farmer feeds their cows with a bale shredder and a tractor. Some people put it in a ring feeder, some people have a big fancy Keenan feeder or a tub mixer, but this just works for us. It's a system that we've kind of used well, and because there's only 2 of us, sometimes there's 400 odd animals on the farm, this just works. So we've got all the silage fed, which is good news. But you remember that bucket that we bought down earlier on the fork truck? Well, that's got some cereal in it. And we need to go and feed that now to the fat stock over there and the young stock. Yeah, Yeti Mug's back at it again. If you didn't get one for Christmas, just treat yourself, because they are the best thing since sliced bread. Anything with Yeti on it, amazing. Now all of that is fed, all that's left is to let these guys out for their breakfast before we go for ours. Dad's gonna let those inside lot out. I'll sort these fat stock. And that's it. Cows are fed, watered, no disasters, which is good news. Now it's time, controversially, for one of my favourite parts of the day. Breakfast. Whew. That's better. And we don't tend to do too much between Christmas and New Year if we can help it. Try and take it a bit easier, because it's about the only time of year when you can. But there's a couple of things that need doing that I just want to get done, because we keep saying we're going to do them and we don't. Firstly, this trough, I kind of might have broke it. Not recently, bit back, but we haven't really done anything about it because we need to rebuild it. The blocks are kind of rubbishy, crumbly blocks. Don't really know what we want to do. We've thought about casting a trough in, we've thought about buying a trough, we've thought about getting hook on troughs. We haven't really made our mind up, that's why I've not done anything about it. But there's a couple of bits here that were on the end that we've pulled out of the way, and they're just doing our head in. So I'm going to get the black bucket on the forklift and tidy them up. And then I've got a little bit of hedge cutting I like to do while there's not a lot of traffic on the road. I think I'm going to need a sledgehammer. that's much better. Should make feeding a lot easier. If any of you have got any ideas of how to do this trough, or you've done it somehow differently, or an idea you think I'd like, let me know, because just can't, nothing tickles my fancy at the minute. It's kind of a little bit higher than where the girls are in there. Just can't work out what I really want to do with it. Probably end up doing another trough like these guys got down here, but perhaps do something a little bit like that, where I've cast it between posts. But nothing jumps out at me at the minute. Let me know. Always keen to a chat. Take this sledgehammer away, then we'll get rid of that, and then we're gonna get this bit of hedge cutting done. Just get the hedge cutter out of the grain store. Oh, you are joking. Look at that. Not a clue. What's wrong with that? I'll have to get the tractor in here and blow it up or something. Doesn't look like we're going hedge cutting today. Typical. That is so typical. Hey, it's only flat at the bottom though. With that then out of action, the tractor we need to blow that tyre up is down the bottom. So what we might as well do is go down, see the cows, make sure they're all right, and then refeed the gangway and let the second group out. And then we can bring the tractor up, and if we feel like it, we can try and sort that puncture out. But there's just always something. If we just come through here, we can see these ones need the trough forking in, and then these girls here, which is the group of cows, they're vet up. So we can get them fed up again, which is good news. Now you might remember this morning I refilled this shredder, so it got a bale of herbal lay and a bale of the special silage. Special silage is going to go up the gangway now for those cows, and the herbal lay I'll go and give the young stock a bit extra because they tend to get through it quite quickly. That's group number 2 fed. All we've got to do now is let them out. Everything seems all right. There's no major disasters other than my puncture, which we'll go and have a look at in a minute. And here we go, let these ones out. Watch yourself then, Barley. These were the ones that came in a little bit skinny because of the drought, but to be fair to them, they've put on a bit of weight now, which is quite good. They're all right, I can see them in there. They've all come out. Shut this door, take that tractor up, and that's cows fed for the day, which is at least one job we've got done. If you're wondering what I'm doing with this tractor, I bought this one because this one has air brakes, and back, it must be a couple of years ago now, we went to Sharman's Agricultural in Melton to get some bits for the Claydon, and they'd made up these, which is a little adapter to turn your air brakes into whatever it is, BSP for your airline. So it's really useful. Honestly, if you've got air brakes on your tractor, you have got to get one of these because they are so handy to have. If you're in a field and you get a puncture or you need to blow your radiator out or anything like that in the summer, you can just use your air brakes and it's amazing. So I'm going to plug that into there and see whether we can get that to blow up. If not, at least we can try and find out what the problem is. I think we're going to be in for a bit of a long wait. I've just took the airline off. I've got 20 psi in here, but listen to this. I reckon the valve's leaking, so I've got to try and get that to sit right, and if not, I'll have to replace the valve. Hopefully that's just all it is, because that's pretty simple. If it's a puncture, we'll have to do a bit more to it, but I'll put the hedge cutter down, take a bit of weight, and then see what we can do with that. Just went in the cab to see what I can find, and one of those little straws off the WD-40 can. Hopefully we can prod it in and get it to sit. That seems better. See if we can hear anything else. Can't hear anything else. I hope that's all it is. Might leave it though. I'm not going to risk taking it out and go and do some hedge cutting today, because the last thing I want to be is down the road and find out that there is a problem. Put that hat back down. We'll see what it looks like in the morning. Maybe I'll go and do it tomorrow. Oh, it's just frustrating. There always seems to be something, doesn't there? Actually, just thinking about it, the last time I had it out of the shed was Friday before Christmas, and I had it out and I gave it a quick wash. So I bet I've just unseated the valve, and that's probably what's made it leak. And especially if I'd only just done it, it wouldn't be blowing hard enough for me to hear it, but hopefully we've fixed it now anyway. This video didn't quite go to plan, did it? But if I'm honest, it is a pretty true representation of what it's like to be a farmer, because when you've got a plan in your head, I can guarantee something will go wrong and it never works out. Anyway, I'm gonna go and get myself a little bit of Christmas cake and some cheese. Whatever you get up to for New Year, have a great one. I'll see you all soon. Ta-da.